Welcome to The Late Show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Stephen Colbert, and you can feel that. Yeah. That's amazing. That's only a live show is like that, right there. That's it. Because the truth is, look at that. We are live right now and barely conscious following a 90-minute speech. Though I'll say there were some bright spots in this speech. There was some really heartwarming moments. Some amazing people were there in the gallery. Congressman Steve Scalise, who survived an attack on that softball field. A police officer who saved the baby. A young boy who's putting flags on soldiers' graves. The families who have gone through unspeakable tragedies. Honestly, some of the most beautiful, most impressive Americans you could imagine. And the president was there, too. Now, here's the thing. Going into this evening, the bar for success was pretty low, okay? He just had to stay on script no matter what, and he did, which was impressive considering everything the Democrats did to distract him. There he is.
This, in fact, is
now,
our
go to
new
the other angle, Jim.
American moment. There has never been a better time to start living the American dream.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Here's one unusual thing we found out right before the speech. The First Lady traveled to the speech in a separate car. I guess Melania didn't want anything from the Burger King drive-thru. I could go for some onion rings. I could go for some onion rings. But when the president entered, the cameras caught Melania looking radiantly happy. And the night began with one huge surprise. Trump was able to lift a glass with one hand. Then, at the beginning of the speech, he listed some of the natural disasters we've endured this year.
We have endured floods and fires and storms.
And Stormies, don't forget her. She was one of the most expensive disasters for you personally. And he reached out to those still recovering.
To everyone still recovering in Texas, Florida, Louisiana, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands, everywhere, we are with you, we love you, and we always will pull through together, always.
That is going to be a comforting message to the people of Puerto Rico once they have electricity to turn on their TVs. And still 1 million people, right? 1 million people in Puerto Rico still don't have power. And he followed up on that inspirational tone.
If there is a mountain, we climb it. If there's a frontier, we cross it. If there's a challenge, we tame it. If there's an opportunity, we seize it.
If there's a burger, we eat it. If there is a porn star, we bone it. If there's an immigrant, we deport it. If there's an investigation, we undermine it. And I believe that. I believe that with all whatever's in here. And he boasted about creating minority jobs.
African-American unemployment stands at the lowest rate ever recorded.
Well, there was one time when African-American unemployment was at 0, but only half of Trump's base wants to go back there. But I said half, but still, with stats like that, you got to imagine African-American leaders must have been pretty impressed. And I stand corrected. All right, my mistake. The speech was a huge hit with Republicans. Just look how excited Mitch McConnell was. Actually, that's not fair. I believe we do have footage of Mitch McConnell more excited. So happy. So happy. Just dancing with a shoe. Just dancing with a shoe. He'll find Cinderella eventually. And Trump took the time to boast about his new tax plan.
To lower tax rates for hardworking Americans. We nearly doubled the standard deduction for everyone. Now, the first $24,000 earned by a married couple is completely tax-free.
A benefit Trump will be enjoying for a few more weeks at least. Once again, who knows? They'll make it to April 15th. Once again, he inspired with his soaring words.
All of us together as one team, one people, and one American family can do anything.
Yes, one American family can do anything. Promote your shoe brand, use your relationship to the president to sell real estate in China, anything. Plus, yes, give it up for the Trumps. Give it up. Family values. Plus, he went to an old American favorite.
We all share the same home, the same heart, the same destiny, and the same great American flag.
Really? Because down in Charlottesville, I saw your supporters carrying 2 other flags. I'm pretty sure. What? I saw that, didn't I?
Yeah, I saw
One of them had a spider on it or something. I'm not sure. But Trump gave it up for the American way.
In America, we know that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the center of American life. The motto is, "In God we trust."
Yes, that's the first half. The second half is, "Oh God, make this stop." And I pray, Lord, what did we do? We're sorry. And he touted his fossil fuel energy policy.
We have ended the war on American energy, and we have ended the war on beautiful, clean coal.
God, it is so beautiful. That coal has a high, tight ass. I tell you, if I weren't burning coal, I might be dating it. But, sir, seriously, sir, war on clean coal? You can't start or end a war on something that does not exist. Soon, we will end our wars on Sasquatches, unicorns, and moderate Republicans. If we could, anybody find one? Did you find one? No? Put down a little trap with like a muffin in it. The president then renewed, thank you, John, renewed his attack on government workers.
So tonight I call on Congress to empower every cabinet secretary with the authority to reward good workers and to remove federal employees who undermine the public trust or fail the American people.
Whoever they are, be they the director or the assistant director of the FBI. Even a special counsel, out.
Oh, wow.
You know I'm imitating him, right? We're all friends here. Now, I think, for now. And he hit one of his favorite themes on healthcare.
One of my greatest priorities is to reduce the price of prescription drugs.
Oh, good. Drugs would have really helped me get through this speech. And he called, as we knew he would, drugs, we love drugs. And he called for more jobs.
We want every American to know the dignity of a hard day's work.
Then they can tell me about it when I get home from golf. I hear great things about work. And he laid out what Americans deserved.
Americans love their country, and they deserve a government that shows them the same love and loyalty in return.
And if their government isn't that loyal with their love, they get $130,000 to keep quiet about it. And just tick. Oh, wait, you pay the love? I'm not sure. Does the love allegedly. And he looked back on his administration's work over the past year.
For the last year, we have sought to restore the bonds of trust between our citizens and their government.
Well, better luck next year. But in that vein, Trump did try to unify.
So tonight, I am extending an open hand
God, women, get out of there! Just run for your lives! Open hand. And Trump lauded his immigration policies as good for everyone.
Struggling communities, especially immigrant communities, will also be helped by immigration policies that focus on the best interests of American workers and American families.
Yes, Trump understands the problem facing struggling immigrant communities. Too many immigrants? Let's move on. And he outlined just who he doesn't want in America.
Under the current broken system, a single immigrant can bring in virtually unlimited numbers of distant relatives. Under our plan, we focus on the immediate family.
Yeah, boo! Families? I'm not sure, but I think Trump's immigration plan is hot singles only. And he spoke.
Oh, wow.
He spoke. Some single people here tonight. Some hot singles in the house. Waiting for your call. And he spoke of threats around the world.
Around the world, we face rogue regimes, terrorist groups, and rivals like China and Russia that challenge our interests, our economy, and our values.
And we will stop them any way we can, except implementing the Russia sanctions you guys voted for. Hi, Vlad. I killed it. I killed the whole thing. 98-2. I cut it. But he spoke out strongly against terrorist actors.
Terrorists who do things like place bombs in civilian hospitals are evil.
Where does he find the courage to call people who bomb hospitals evil? Truly, today, Donald Trump became president of the United States. And he got tough with the terrorists.
When possible, we have no choice but to annihilate them. When necessary, we must be able to detain and question them.
You know, after we annihilate them. That's our motto, annihilate first, realize we can't ask dead guys questions later. And he spoke to America's colonial past.
It was that same yearning for freedom that nearly 250 years ago gave birth to a special place called America. It was a small cluster of colonies caught between a great ocean and a vast wilderness.
With no people in it, just waiting for real estate developers. Okay, I don't know why the Arapaho didn't put up condos. Chickasaw, Cherokee, beautiful land. Could have put up a casino then. Of course, Trump did not mention the Russia investigation. He hopes that goes away. But, I mean, even if the president and his campaign aides, members of his family, were convicted of conspiracy with a hostile foreign power, I mean, where would we send them?
In many cases, for them, it will now be Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, good. At least he's got a plan. We got a great show for you tonight.